continue. All right. So how about your new venture into textiles?
Okay, so how that happened, of course, was leaving so many of my mixed media supplies, my altered books and things like that, all of those supplies behind. And part of moving to Costa Rica was the effort to simplify life. And it's very hot here and it's very moist here. It's not hot here this morning, not yet. And I was afraid that my altered books would never dry, that the Mod Podge would adhere to each other and I would have door stops instead of altered books and just one brick of a piece. So started to look for something that was more transportable, that I could carry with me, smaller, things like that. And so fabric came into my path and slow stitching came into my path. And I started, my work is very, very simple. I don't have a lot of different patterns in my slow stitching, and I'm okay with that. So I brought out some examples. I am outside here in Costa Rica, Platanillo, and I brought some examples of some of the things that I've been playing with, not all of them, but it's a very peaceful art form, very calming, and that is part of our moving to Costa Rica as well, just being more tranquil, more present in the moment. And so this craft has picked up on that. I've also started eco printing with the local flora that we have. I brought some examples out of those things as well. So enjoying this very, very much, the just being present and quiet and slowing down life and simplicity, simplicity, simplicity.
Well, the eco printing must be fantastic with the foliage that you've got around here.
It's
around there.
Yes, it's unbelievable. And it's I have always shied away from it. I wasn't sure how to do it. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it. And the results have been amazing and a little addictive because you don't know what you're going to get. And so you get ideas from every batch and it makes you push forward to try other things in the boils.
May I say that one of the slow stitching that I saw that was a dress reminded me of your very first garments, the wax dresses that you made. And it's sort of like, when I saw it, I thought, this is like LorriMarie starting all over again in slow stitching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the dress that I did slow stitch on, which I brought out with me. So.
Right.
That dress, which is a child's dress, was that was intended to do a wax dip. And I knew I couldn't bring a wax dress here to Costa Rica. So I folded it up and started with the slow stitching on that. There was no sense in waxing it because I couldn't bring it here. So.
But isn't that interesting that those dresses were like something that you did in California? And then when you first started your adventure, your artistic adventure in Costa Rica, you kind of went back to doing the dress with the slow stitch.
Yes.
What about contest stitches? You know that one of the ways of this stitching is like come from contact quills that are made in India and Pakistan. You know, they put layers of saris together, and then they stitch through them the whole or old saris or old fabrics, and then they stitch they use this slow stitching method and stitch through them.
Yes.
Did you ever think of that, or were you ever interested in that,
No,
or?
I haven't even explored that. I haven't explored that. I will show you the slow stitching that has developed from this dress. And I don't know if you have seen these pieces or not. But these are slow stitch with found objects, tea bags, and leaves.
See, to me, it looks like a fish. They all look like fish. And I like it very much.
So this leaf had holes in it, natural holes in it. So I stitched around the holes.
Now, did you eco print that leaf or just
No,
the actual leaf?
it's
How do
the
you preserve the actual leaf?
it's dried, but yet sturdy. I haven't done anything to preserve it. So here's the last one, and I've actually started to stitch inside the leaf.
It's amazing. Are they like leathery leaves, kind of, in a way?
So I don't know if you can you hear it? It's kind of
I can
leather.
hear it.
Mm-hmm. So what I do is I take the leaf and I press it in a book, and then I take it out and I play with it.
How long do you press it, or do you give it very much time, or?
I kind of ignore it in the book for a little while, so it's probably like 5 days or so. Yeah, about 5 days or so. And I brought out some pages of the eco print.
Oh, very nice.
And look at this one with the ferns.
That's great.
Yeah, they really turned out nice. I love them. So that is, this is with some turmeric in here to add some gold. And, oh, look at the stems on that one, Annadora.
It's fabulous. Do you get any color from the plants?
I do on some of them. Let me see if this was, I did one with all flowers. That one had more color than this one. The smoky color is from rust, rusty barbed wire. So this is a double leaf. You get a little bit of color there. The hibiscus will produce some color on the page. Some leaves will produce like a blue color. Never know. You never know what you're going to get. It's so fun. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And this is watercolor paper. So it's very, very sturdy. And flowers.
You're frozen,
Am I
but
freezing up? Yes, give it a moment. We're in Costa Rica. You never know what's going to happen with the internet.
this is fabulous. So in a way, what about fabric? Have you printed on fabric? The eco
I
print on
haven't.
fabric.
That is next, and I don't own any. What I would like to do is take some raw canvas and make a bundle with raw canvas with the different flowers and flora, and eco print that. But I don't have any right now, except for my drop cloth, which I may cut up. You never know.
What about fabric? When you and Rob described about going to market, are there fabrics at the market, or?
That market there is not, but we went into town a couple of days ago and I did find a fabric store. I didn't have time to go into it, but I did. Well, there were a couple of fabric stores there actually. So I'm excited to go into those to see if I can find some canvas or some linen, maybe some linen, something like that. Light color, obviously, light colored.
It sounds exciting. It sounds very, very thrilling.
It's thrilling. It is thrilling because it's like starting brand new, but with skills that I have been using over the past years. I mean, my fabric collages are layers on top of layers on top of layers. It's no different than my mixed media, but it's with fabric and tea bags and leaves and found things that we find on our walks. And so I've come to the realization that my collages, be they fabric or be they paper, are like life to me. There's an important layer of life, and then the next important layer of life comes along, and I put that down. And some people are like, well, how can you even cover that first layer? That layer has happened. That's over and done with. It's time for the new layer, and then the new layer, and then the new layer. And it represents our lives so much. You know, the layers of the past are the foundations for our lives, but yet we don't see all of it. We see little snippets of the past, but we don't live in the past. And then the current layer, that's the important layer. And then for me, when that energy feels complete, that's when the piece is done. Very interesting process.
I joined your underpants club.
Oh, thank you.
And I didn't know this, but when I joined it, you talk about what you do. And you're talking right now, reminding me of what you said, that it's a little bit of, you know, cooking, a little bit. So it is part of your life, like you're describing, like your club is part of all of your life.
Yes.
Like you made, you know, you'll talk about, I don't know, you were making something. I'm not very good at remembering food, but you were making some kind of dish that you were giving instruction on, which I found fascinating. But, you know, it was like what you're saying right now is very much like your club, that
yes,
you bring your life into that.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And I cook like I create art. It's like, what do you have? Oh, I have this. Okay, let's use that then. How can we make it different next time? Same ingredients. How can you make it different next time? Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to that you were working in a market in California where you met Rob
right,
on
exactly.
your birthday, and he brought you glass, and you know, it's all just like maybe like an envelope. It kind of folds over on itself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I would say that's like the layers. That's like layers of meaning and layers of your life that repeat itself.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said. Yeah.
Like the dresses. But you know, the big difference is I have one of the dresses, so I know what I can actually make some assessment. The new dress is a patchwork quilt. So it's like completely, it's not white.
Right.
It's not, it's a patchwork quilt with this slow stitching that you did. And it's also sealed. It looks like the stitches went through everything.
All the way through. All the way through. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? What?
I did it for stability of the dress, so that it was nice and firm and could withstand any movement and things like that. But I'm going to cough here for a moment. Excuse me. But as you say that, you have such a great spin on things. I just have to say, I love your interpretation and what you hear and what you feel. But as I look back on that dress, it's probably my final dress. It's probably my final dress. I've done dresses, and this dress is sewn closed as a closure to that chapter.
But see, it starts a new chapter because it's fabric. It's slow stitching. And then I found the slow stitching fish, which, you know, fish are a symbol of Christianity. And although I'm a Christian, but at the same time, I'm not a practicing one. And that Easter that I spent with you kind of, it was like Easter evening, and then I saw these fish, and you working on the fish, and it was probably your last video that I was watching you work on the fish. It was very, for me, it was very meditative.
Mhm.
It was a spiritual experience. I
Yeah.
don't want to say it was a religious experience. It was a spiritual experience about religion, about the symbolism of the fish. I watched it Easter Sunday, and it was very quiet, and I hadn't gone to church and all that, gotten dressed and whatever. But I did watch that video that day, and it had a lot of meaning for me in watching you slowly work your way through each fish. So, and that's something that I really liked watching too, the hanging of the fish.
Uh-huh.
I think that that's Costa Rica. You know, you said Rob hung that for you or whatever,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
thing is that idea of just nature, like
Uh-huh.
it didn't have to be in a frame. It was just hanging from
A
a
branch.
pole, a branch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And what's interesting about that piece and our conversation around that is all the fish are going in one direction except for two of them. And there are two that are facing the opposite direction.
Now, why do you think that is? Or is it?
Well, it's just happenstance, of course, because Rob hung it and he said, I just want a couple of fish going the other way. So it's happenstance. But then you look at it and it's almost like our our removing ourselves from California. All of the fish are in one direction. In California, everybody's going in one direction. And here's LorriMarie and Rob heading off to the life that they've chosen for themselves, stepping away from the herd, the school of fish. It's interesting.
Well, I actually have a list of books that I'm going to send you through email. I don't. You can probably get them from Amazon or download them, or they're, what do they call it?
Right, Kindle or whatever.
Yeah, right. I don't know if you have a Kindle or not.
I do.
But they're textile books.
Oh,
And we're actually in similar places because I've done not this kind of textile. I'm exploring textiles and leaves, but I'm cutting out the leaves from fabric
oh, wow.
and not, actual leaves, and like using the leaves that I find in fabric and then just cutting them up and then using them again. But I find I did this one piece, and I was looking at Sam and Joe, the textile, the newsletter that I get. I think I shared that with you too at some point, which you may or may not look at, but there was one piece that was exactly like what I was trying to do. So at first I was like thought, what a cliche, I'm doing
Right.
something that this person is doing, and I obviously I've not reached any. It might be new to me, but it turns out to be a cliche. And then I thought about it, and I thought, nope, that means you're on the right track.
Exactly.
That means if textile artists are doing this, then you're on the right track without any knowledge or forethought or anything like that. So this is one point at which we can meet and see what happens to each of our different textile ventures.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I think there's so many of us that are on the same path that it's really hard not to be interlocked. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I have this idea to sew on leaves. And then it's like, oh, I've been sewing on leaves too. And I've been creating leaves and blah, 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 you know, that's amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I bought leaves from San Francisco for a long time, but the bones of leaves, the skeleton,
Oh,
the
the
leaf
skeleton,
skeleton.
they're so beautiful.
I know the leaf
Wow.
skeletons that I bought them and used them for a long
Wow.
time.
They're beautiful.
They're really lovely. But I'm really excited for you. It just I'm excited to see how it folds over on itself, how it wraps itself around, and how you come out of it in the long run.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I have no idea what's next.
So have you moved into your new casita or?
That's happening on Wednesday. So I don't know if you have followed the Costa Rican videos that we post.
I have followed some of them. I know you got
Okay.
a little you were house sitting for someone
And
and
that's where
their
I am.
dog.
That's where I am now. Yes. And then I just posted today's video this morning, and it shows you're going to love the colors. You're going to love the colors of the casita. It is, put your sunglasses on, girl, because it's nice and bright. It's so beautiful. But we move in on Wednesday. So yeah, very, very close. And you suggested a book to me, A Thousand Days of Solitude.
Yes, by Gabriel
Yeah.
Garcia Marquez.
Yes, thank you for that recommendation. Beautiful
Did you
book.
read it?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, beautiful book. Yeah.
There is one scene where the young girl who has some kind of learning disability or some kind of disability is walking and the butterflies are following her, right?
Yeah.
They're just following her. I just love that. Is one of my favorite images from a book.
Yeah.
100 Years of Solitude is my all-time favorite book.
That's amazing. And it's one you can read over and over because it's something new each time. There's so many, talk about layers. There's so many layers in that book. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you read it. I'm glad you had a chance to read it.
Well, me too. Me
All
too.
right. Well, what are you doing? What are your plans for today?
Well, today there's a little celebration in town, in our little town of Platanillo, because it's nearing Independence Day for us here in Costa Rica. So we are going to, our little town is starting up a farmer's market. This is their first day doing a farmer's market here in town. So we're going to go and celebrate with them and see what the farmer's market has to offer. There will be a lot of local women that have created some fun food that they will be selling there. So it'll be nice to go and meet people and see the fair and support the community.
Now, what about the expat community? How does that, is that?
We are not in a location where there are a lot of expats. There are expats in Platanillo, but they're more like peppered in Platanillo. They're not grouped. So you can go to towns where they have the gated communities that are like 99%, if not 100% expats. And there will be 85 houses in that community. And yeah, we've chosen to be in with the locals more. Yeah. So there are a lot of expat communities, but we are not in touch with them.
Now, Pataneo is the community where you're going to be living, right?
It is where we are now, and it is also the town where our little house and I'll say our property. So Platanillo is where we are living now, taking care of this property. And it is, I can walk from here to our new property in a half an hour. So it's still in Platanillo.
Do you think, are there local fabrics at all, like local weavings or anything like that?
I have to look into that because I know that there's a local that teaches basket weaving with local plants.
Right.
And that I would be interested in, and maybe creating my own fabric backgrounds with something like that, which I think would be fun.
They don't have weavings though, or they do have weavings, or you
Not
don't
really,
know.
not
Okay.
really, Annadora, not that I have seen.
Can I
And
ask what kind of population they are? Like, are they Indians, or are they what is their background? What are the people of Costa Rica? Are they
there are,
Spanish?
yes. Although there are Indians here, you can tell by their features, they're almost Aztec Indian looking. They're just so beautiful, but it's more of a Spanish. Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
It's
Anyway,
so,
and I just envy you all those plants.
I know.
I just envy all those lovely leaves that dry and can be used again, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. Just amazing. Yeah. If you watch the video from today, Rob and I were going into town, and I'm just like, oh, we live in Costa Rica. You know, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Believably unbelievable.
How are you doing with your Spanish, by the way?
I am progressing nicely. I do have a brain that's 68 years old, so it's not as spongy as if I had started this when I was in the 7th grade, but I can carry my own. I can carry my own. So I'm doing online classes and also in-person classes.
But we
Yeah.
always expect you to carry your own.
Yeah, that's
Marie. What's new about that? Anyway, thank you very much for giving me this chance to talk to you and catch up. And I
Oh my
hope
goodness.
that we will have another conversation soon.
Oh, I love that. We'll have to do it in the casita after we get moved in. You can sit with me in the casita and out on the terraza. It'll be great. You're a gift. You're a gift, Annadora, and I'm very, very, very honored that you're in my life and remain in my life. So thank you for making that effort.
Well, I of course watch your and Rob's videos. And then I was very happy with Rob and LorriMarie, the video I did of you both.
Oh yeah.
Together. I just thought that was it. I had forgotten about it, but that was an almost talk about art video that we talked about art. That's what I mean by saying an art video. It was like a real conversation with Rob and you and art.
So is that up on your YouTube now?
It is. I put it up last Saturday.
Okay. All right. Well, I had talked to Rob about it and we're both anxious to sit down and watch it. So yay. If you think of it, send me the link. Otherwise I'll tap in.
I did send you the link. I had not even made it public. I sent you the private, it was private then. It's public. All you wrote was "you go girl."
Oh, okay.
And I made it public. It's on my channel.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. Well, just for making it a little bit easier for this girl, would you send me a link again, please?
I absolutely will.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
then Rob and I can sip on coffee and watch it together. That'll be so exciting.
Okay, I'd be happy to send you a link. Knowing that, I would be happy to send you a link.
Perfect, because he wants to see it. So that's good. I do too. I do too. That'll be a treasure.
And then because we're sharing a similar experience, I'm going to send you a list of books that I am
Great.
going to try to pursue. I haven't gotten them any more than you've gotten them or anything like that. So I'm looking for this series of books that I
Okay.
might want, uh, 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 textile books that I might want to look at. Anyway,
Great.
I will just keep talking. So I will say lots of love, take care, keep up the good work. I'm watching, of course, and I love the new textile.
Thank you. Thank you, Annadora. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. And again, thank you for reaching out and staying connected. I really, really appreciate it. And take care of yourself and that puppy.
Oh yeah, the one who doesn't want to be groomed.
The one who doesn't want to be groomed.
You know, the vet said she's loving every minute of it, that
Oh,
she's
yeah.
getting away with it.
That negative attention, I'll take it all.
Yeah. Okay. Nice
All right, my
note to
friend.
end on.
Thank you. Thank you for the visit.
Okay, bye.
Bye.